First up, our focus on the expectations of bountiful Indian monsoons. So which Indian stocks are likely to benefit from a heavy monsoon season? We look at this and more in our next report.
The stock market is showing signs of life for Indian companies with a strong foothold in the country's rural areas. This comes as investors are placing bets that the country's abundant monsoon rains that would improve agricultural harvests and increase demand in the countryside. After 2 years of devastating unseasonal heat on India's agricultural sector, manufacturers of motorcycles, farm equipment and fast-moving consumer goods, they have risen in anticipation of above normal monsoon rains in 2024. Several large consumer goods companies have forecast better business and sales volumes in rural regions that are on the rise. The FMCG gauge underperformed the overall index in each of the previous 6 months. The larger stock market has shown a fantastic surge in recent years. In addition, rains might help the government combat inflation by reducing food price increases. This is good news for India's economy as a whole and business profits. According to experts at Morgan Stanley, cyclical businesses are still leading India's growth, and that should result in defensive sectors lagging. Still, investors' appetite for stocks tied to the rural sector has strengthened amid growing signs that India's investment-propelled growth may be losing steam. We will report WION World is One.
All right, joining us for more on this on the show today is Professor Vikas Singh. He's an author and economist joining us from Hyderabad. Thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch, sir.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
So I want to begin by asking you, do you see rural demand picking up in 2024?
I think everything depends on the agriculture, and I think the harvest. If we happen to get a good agriculture, and we're most likely going to, I think the demand is going to pick up. A good monsoon can lead to a successful harvest, which puts more money into the hands of the farmers. This drives up the disposable income in rural areas. With increased income, rural consumers tend to invest more on various goods, including fast-moving consumer goods, things like clothes, utensils, electronics, consumer durables like fridge, TV, refrigerators. Auto sector also is going to benefit from a good harvest because people tend to buy two-wheelers. Some people, the rich farmers may also invest in four-wheelers. And last but not the least, I think a good harvest can also lead to higher demand in housing, which can lead to several other housing-related organizations like Asian Paints, fertilizer, and others to benefit from that.
Right, so in fact, I was just going to come to this just for better understanding here. What role do you think monsoons have in spurring global demand?
I think India is a large consumer of food grains, though we are self-sufficient. So a good monsoon in India can lead to stability of the food prices. It can also lead to, since a good monsoon can lead to higher growth rate in India, it can spur global demand. In short, I think a good monsoon is good. A good monsoon in India is good for the world economy as well.
Right, sir.
Though India's GDP is largely consumer-driven and consumption-led, and 70% of India's growth is determined by what happens indoors, that's within India. But a good monsoon can stabilize the global economy.
All right, sir. Also, what sectors would you say you are bullish on and why?
I don't want to talk about stocks per se, but as mentioned earlier, a good monsoon can lead to better returns in the auto sector. It can lead to better returns in fast-moving consumer goods item. It can benefit the housing organizations. We must not forget that 50% of India's GDP constituents are in 4 sectors. That is the FMCG, the auto, the consumption sectors. So a good monsoon and a good demand can certainly lead not only to the growth of these sectors, but can also have a significant impact on the Nifty and the BSE.
All right. Well, Professor, thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch with your insights on this.
Thank you so much for having me here.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.